The USL Pro Game of the Week stops in Wilmington, North Carolina, as the hometown Hammerheads host the defending league champion, Charleston Battery. Here's what's at stake tonight. These two teams are battling it out in the American Division. Charleston just barely ahead of Wilmington for that fourth and final playoff spot. A Hammerheads win tonight would tie them on points. They will still have 3 games in hand, though, after this evening. Meanwhile, in the National Division, Rochester is 4 points clear of Harrisburg and Los Angeles, who do battle later on the coast this evening. I want to welcome you all to Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm Ken Tomesh. My partner, 22 years as the head coach at Georgetown University, Keith Tabasnik. Coach, what do you expect out of tonight's matchup?
Well, as we saw in the standings, it is a tight race for the 4th playoff spot in the American Conference. And by the way, both teams need a big win tonight. Wilmington, they're right where they want to be here at Legion Stadium. They are 5-1 so far this year. They beat Charleston about a month ago, 3-0. But since that time, Charleston has gone 3-1-1. If they have a big win tonight, this could be the turning point for them in their season.
It could be very much. That's a look at some of the teams, but for a look at a couple of players to watch, let's go to our third man, our man in touch today, former University of Maryland standout, Jason Arnold. Jason.
Wilmington Hammerheads have been scoring a lot of goals lately. Keep an eye tonight on Andre Budney. He's a big player for them who scored in the last 2 matches. Charleston's only got 2 players with 2 goals or more on the season, and Nicky Patterson's one of them. He's a big player for them out of UNLV. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists on the year so far.
Well, that's just 2 of the stars we will be watching tonight. We'll have the rest of the first 11s and the kickoff after we take this quick timeout. We're at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina for the USL Pro Game of the Week on Fox Soccer.
The legendary New York Cosmos are back, and to mark the club's rebirth, Umbro has applied its celebrated football tailoring ethos to the brand new 2011 collection. Anthem jacket, Cosmos tees, New York Cosmos jersey, 1976-1977 home jersey. For the complete New York Cosmos line, go to soccer.com/Umbro.
DiGiorno comes with Toll House cookies now. How cool is that?
Bang, boom! Let's do this. We got milk. Awesome.
New DiGiorno pizza and Nestle Toll House cookies. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno pizza and cookies.
That's my Bob. It used to be just me and him. Then one morning he tries Just for Men. Says here it targets only the gray, fast and easy, replacing it with his natural tones.
Hello, Bob.
Hello. Apparently that's not the only thing it replaces. I'm glad Bob's happy.
Hi there.
Just for Men. Live forward.
Charcoal went out already? Forget it.
There's more barbecue time in every bag of Kingsford charcoal. Kingsford. Slow down and grill.
Get ready for Fox Soccer Plus.
And he's placed it magnificently!
Sign up now to see over 130 exclusive Barclays Premier League games, 70 UEFA Champions League matches, 73 exclusive Serie A games, and over 800 exclusive events, including the world's best rugby competitions, all in HD. Call 1-877-810-KICK or go to foxsoccerplus.com and get Fox Soccer Plus today. It's soccer night in America. David Beckham's LA Galaxy clashes with the San Jose Earthquakes. Live tomorrow, only on Fox Soccer.
The search for gold all comes down to this. USA versus Mexico. Team USA solidifies their spot in the final. Now they face their biggest rival, Mexico. The Gold Cup Final, live from the Rose Bowl, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox Soccer.
This broadcast of USL Pro is brought to you by USLsoccer.com. Scores, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLsoccer.com, the official website of United Soccer Leagues. By Umbro, true to soccer since 1924. For more information, visit umbro.com. By the PDL, the Premier Development League, providing a pathway to the professional game. And by the W League, the first and longest running National Women's Soccer League in North America. It's a holiday weekend next weekend, and we'll be in New York as FC New York takes on Antigua Barracuda FC. That's Friday night at 8 live here on Fox Soccer. Then it's Soccer Night in America as Major League Soccer serves up a great Eastern Seaboard rivalry as DC United takes on the Philadelphia Union. That's on Saturday, July 2nd at 6:30 Eastern, live in an HD here on Fox Soccer. We're at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina, and the Hammerheads and the Battery are just set to kick off. Here's the first 11 for Wilmington, Keith.
Yeah, well, Wilmington in a 4-4-2 today, and they have a lot of people who can score goals. Look at Luke Mulholland, number 8 on the right midfield, 4 goals and 2 assists. Andre Budney up top, 3 goals and 2 assists. Those guys can go forward, and Coach David Irving wants to try to get some more goals out of everybody. With Charleston, also in a 4-4-2, look up front, 18-year-old C.D. Ba and 20-year-old Dane Kelly starting, and they're going to have great careers in soccer. These guys are fast, speedy, and they will be a handful for the Wilmington defense.
Mark Buda is our man in the middle tonight. You see him shaking hands there with Jailor Noviello and Andre Budney. It's the only change to the first 11 from a week ago. Tactical and formation change for David Irving, but Budney, who scored the game-tying goal late in that match at Orlando to give the Hammerheads a 1-1 draw with the Lions, will start up top because Chris Banks, who scored 2 goals Tuesday night in their Open Cup win here, was not 100%. He's on the substitutes bench, but it's big Andre Budney and Jailor Noviello, normally a super sub, starting up top. Wilmington in blue and white. And Charleston actually wearing red jerseys tonight. Red with the black stripes and black shorts and black socks. They're the road team this evening, and they will be attacking from right to left here. It'll be a throw-in for Wilmington on the far side. Good crowd settling in here in Legion Field. We're just underway in the first minute of the USL Pro Game of the Week. Ken Tomash and Keith Tabatsnik with you. We'll hear from Jason Arnold in just a little bit, our man in touch. Speaking of in touch, that's where the ball is at the moment. Benches on the far side here at Legion Stadium, away from us, so we'll be able to get a good look across there at David Irving and Mike Anheuser as they do their work. And it'll be the Wilmington Hammerheads with their captain, Ivan Becerra, playing that square ball here to Gareth Evans. Evans will knock one low and long, and it'll be picked off there by the Battery. It'll go back the other way. This portion of the match is brought to you by USLsoccer.com. Scores, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLsoccer.com, the official website of United Soccer Leagues. Charleston will play it here to Kevin Jackson. Now pushing up from left back is Mike Zaire. Zaire will send a right footer into the box, headed out by Becerra. 50-50 ball there, dropped between Nicholson and Patterson, and the Battery retains it. Here's Zaire. Alex Caskey now will switch it to the far side and out of play for another throw-in for the Hammerheads. Coach, one thing you notice about Legion Stadium right away is how narrow it is, and that's really going to change how these teams play, isn't it?
Yeah, it really does, and it is a very narrow field, and both coaches, trying to adjust to that. David Irving has decided to go to a 4-4-2 today, and he's hoping to get the wide backs getting forward quite a bit, try to take advantage of some space if their wide midfielders in front of them can open up for them. Of course, Charleston does a pretty good job overall at making it difficult for other teams to get to the goal, and on a narrow field like this, that will help them out.
There's actually some disagreement between these two coaches who are longtime friends about exactly how wide this field is. It's officially listed at 115 by 70. David Irving says it's 68. Mike Anheuser says, nah, it's 64. I guess if you're leading or winning, yeah, it's perfectly wide.
Yeah,
there is David Irving.
David Irving, either one will be happy with whatever width it is if they win the game.
Been the coach here since 1999. Won 3 division titles and a league championship back in 2003. Here's a free kick, though, for Charleston. Patterson drives it to the far post. It's headed up and sent over the bar by Kyle Pollock.
And, you know, one of the things that also on a narrow field is that almost any free kick in the final third is a very good scoring opportunity as well. And I mean, you could even bend that right into the goal and it'd be difficult. But that was a very well put free kick, bent in hard, and just a little flick on could have had a goal.
There you see Kyle Pollock making another starting goal. He's made his first start last week at Orlando, played well, and he's back in the side tonight with an experienced front four in front of him. They can do nice work, especially on their home field where, as Keith told you in the open, they are 5-1 this season and beat this Battery team just over a month ago, 3-0. A little deceiving scoreline. It was 1-0 late in the game. Charleston was a man down, and the Hammerheads scored twice in the last 5 minutes. And Mike Anheuser says, well, that's football.
It is. Although, of course, they know how to win playing a man down because they won the USL 2 championship playing a man down last year against Richmond.
This game features the last 2 coaches of the year in this league. David Irving won it in 2009. Mike Anheuser last year. Well-deserved for both of them. Now we're going to have a deep throw in for the Battery. Red jerseys kind of sneak up to the 6. Pollock has to grab that one out of the air. Sean Flatley had snuck up from center back position to try to be a target for that one.
Yeah, and Flatley, and you know, will be going up on every restart, and a throw-in again in the final third is the same thing as any restart now because of the size of the field. You don't need to have a long throw specialist, if you will. Anyone can get it into the mix there.
Pollock sends it long, and it will go out on the far side, will it? No. Yes, finally it is. Seemed to be some dispute there about whether or not Jailo Noviello kept that one in play. He did not, so throw in for the Battery.
I think one of the things, Ken, that also happens when you're preparing to play here because of the narrow field is you actually spend a fair bit of time on things that maybe you would prefer not to be spending time on. There's a lot of throw-ins and defending the restarts. You know, maybe a little more disproportionate than a normal week of preparation.
There you saw the through ball, and they tried to get it to Dane Kelly. We will see Dane Kelly, number 9, and C.D. Baugh, number 15, trying to run onto balls and using that speed to try to get forward a lot in this game.
And it's not for Dane Kelly's lack of chances that he's only had 1 goal. He's had 27 shots. And the feeling with you know, Mike Anheuser is that the second he gets another goal or two, it's just going to explode for him.
Now it's Andrew Dykstra right at the edge of his box. The former Chicago Fire goalkeeper suffered a broken foot earlier in the season. Been back for the last few games, and he can launch it long here, as he does. Becerra heads it back towards midfield for Wilmington. Battle forward on the far side. Wilmington comes away with it. And knocked right back the other way and out of play over to the far side. We're in the 7th minute here at Legion Stadium as you see Nicky Patterson, the Battery's leading goal scorer with 4 goals on the year.
And Nicky is also tied for 4th in points in the USL Pro Division. 3 assists to go with his goals. And I think he's certainly one that Wilmington has to key on offensively. He gets forward very well, and he's obviously a big, strong fellow also. And makes a lot of things happen just by his work rate.
Now here's Jakavasian on the far side. And that will go out. It'll be a Battery throw-in. We're at Legion Stadium, originally built in 1938, but renovated in 2001, and it is a gorgeous evening. And they're having a blue out here tonight. They asked all the fans to show up in the Carolina blue of the Wilmington Hammerheads, and many of them have done just that. It's a great atmosphere on a gorgeous night for soccer. And they're thrilled about the Hammerheads. And speaking of getting hammered,
that was appropriate. Colin Falvey with the foul, just going right through the player as we see on the replay. And I don't really have much of a chance to get to that one. And you know, in reality, he just stays there and keeps the guy in front of him. There's no problem. Now he puts it in a fairly dangerous position.
Colin Falvey wearing the captain's armband tonight with the absence of John Wilson. Jailo Noviello, we told you, who is a starter tonight for a rare time this season, gets up to the applause of the crowd. And let's see, did Mark Buddha
Yellow card caution.
Card him, yes, he did.
Number 32, Colin Falvey.
So Mark Buddha setting the tone here early in the 8th minute. Here's one sent into the box. Whip right back out. Mulholland to Guzman. Guzman will send it to the edge of the box. Budny is there. And it goes out of play.
It's a difficult free kick to play straight down the middle from where that was started. You really need to move that wide first and open up the defense. I think a lot of times when you hit that down the middle, you're more kicking and hoping than actually something that's planned.
Deep throw in now. Budny will toss it in to the edge of the area. Noviello with two defenders on him. Can he keep it in play? Yes. But it'll be cleared by Nicky Patterson. And out into the center circle. Gareth Evans has it. Evans will launch one long. That will go over the head of Noviello and ride out of play. See, Noviello came off the bench in 10 of their first 11 games. Gets the start tonight. He's a very versatile player. Can play in the midfield, can play as a forward. And he is a handful, one of the local players on the Hammerheads. So crowd favorite.
Certainly hoping that he can take advantage of the start, taking the place of Chris Banks, and we may see Chris Banks come in later in the game, and certainly the subs coming off the bench could play a big role in this stretch of games for both teams.
Even more so for Charleston because they've got to play at home tomorrow night against Pittsburgh. They've got the back-to-back. Mike Danheiser has to really keep an eye on where his players are. Here's Budny at the edge of the box, and nice work by Mike Zayer to clear that one. He gave up the corner, but nothing more dangerous than that. Take a look.
Yeah, you see Zayer doing a very good job of getting recovery and getting in a good spot here. Just gets in and right there. I think he took Budny by surprise a little bit coming from behind. Zayer, very experienced defender out of UCLA with some MLS team experience as well.
Now, first corner of the night, bounces inside the 6. Sent back in, still headed around. Dane Kelly slipped on this new turf. Back come the Hammerheads the other way. Budny goes down. Luke Mulholland now. Mulholland with some nice footwork and a nice ball into space to Budny. He'll play it across. Headed off the 6 by Charleston. Now they find Dane Kelly. Kelly will play it back. Jackson now. Mulholland closes on him. Nice ball movement by Charleston. They are the defending champs, so this is a much different team than the one they had a year ago. They lost 4 all-league players, including the league MVP and scoring champ, Lamar Nagel, who's now in Seattle, as you see Mulholland. And his opposite number, Patterson.
Well, obviously, Ken, if things work well, that's what's going to happen with the top teams is some of the top players will be moving on into the MLS, and we see this again, and Mulholland looks like got the wind knocked out of him.
Solar plexus. He's up and all right.
I don't know. I might have hit the ball into his chest like that, too, if he just beat me at the other end like he did.
It'll be a Charleston throw in here on the near side with Mike Zayer to take it. Slip headed by C.D. Baugh. And it gets past Dane Kelly and out of play for a Kyle Pollock goal kick. You saw players start to slip a little bit on the surface. This is a new artificial surface here at Legion Stadium. They had grass for a long time, and they laid down this new surface not long before the home opener, and we were down on it before the field, Keith. It's nice, it's spongy, it's your typical next generation artificial surface.
No, it absolutely is, but as any turf begins, even a grass field when it's starting out, you will have the footing issues, and we're seeing that out here. One of the things is also on a narrow field that the balls, you have to be right into feet. It has to be much more precise because the margin of error is not there in this field. So we may see more slipping because of that also.
Here's Andre Budny now. Square ball intercepted and launched long. You see how quickly Dane Kelly gets back there, and those center backs, Ivan Becerra and Gareth Evans, have to be watching number 9 and number 15, although C.D. Baugh is playing a little bit more withdrawn.
He plays off of Dane Kelly, where his strengths are going, facing forward a little bit more. And it's very good soccer brain. He could be a good setup partner for Dane Kelly also.
Tom Parrott now will make an overlapping run, and Mulholland try to get it back to him. But Jackson is there for Charleston. Now along the near side touchline, it's Zayer. Pushed off the ball. Parrott has it back. Fed it through. Nice idea. Picked off by the Battery. Here's C.D. Baugh, just 18 years old. Big Gambian, number 15. And they'll be looking for him, and number 9, the Jamaican, Dane Kelly up front. And I'll come here to Kevin Jackson.
Sorry, yeah, no, it just shows a lot of confidence that Coach Anheuser has in those two, because, you know, there's been a lot of trouble scoring goals for Charleston this year, and yet he's the two guys that he really believes in. And, you know, I think, you know, if they are the players he believes, it's going to pay off as the season goes.
Charleston heads that one back. C.D. Baugh now. Ricky Patterson is always in the mix for Charleston. Zaire and Mulholland go after it. We talked, Keith, about players moving up and players going through the system to reach a higher level. And, you know, a lot of players that you'll see in this game were identified through the combine. And Jason Arnold down in touch has more on that.
That's right. We got 5 players on tonight's rosters who came up to USL Pro through the 2011 USL Men's Combine. Charleston picked up Sean Flatley and Mark Wiltsey. Wilmington got Luke Mulholland, Brock Duckworth, and Devin Carroll. Now, there's another great combine success story worth mentioning, Tom Heineman. He signed by Charleston following the 2009 Combine. He led the team to a title in 2010, and now he's currently playing for the Columbus Crew of the MLS. Guys?
Thanks, Jason. Here's a chance. And Pollock comes out and then gets some help from his friends. Wow, Dane Kelly at the 6th thought he had the first goal of this match.
He did, and I think he was a little surprised a couple times that he got the ball. He may have been surprised he wasn't offside when the first pass came in, and the ball bouncing around, and all of a sudden he's right in front of the goal, and that's the thing that Coach Anheuser needs him to put that away and get on a streak of scoring.
Again, Wilmington keeping the pressure on. Mulholland working the ball quickly through Budney. Tom Parrott will find this loose ball on the near side touchline. Try to push it around Jackson, and he goes down, and then he gets stepped on. Let's take a look at this chance at the other end, Coach.
Yeah, again, this long ball in here, and you know, Kelly may have been offside, but anyway, he has the ball. All of a sudden, it's there, slipped a little bit, and that's just the extra touch. I think one step earlier, he takes the shot. He's got to clear at the near post, and one extra touch was too much. And 20-year-old's going to need to learn when to unleash.
Nice ball into him by the rookie Alex Kasky. As you look at Andrew Dykstra there. Jack Avessian sends this to the far post. It's punched out of there by Dykstra. Another shot and a save by Dykstra. The quick one-timer by Manny Guzman at the top of the box.
Yeah, and, you know, a lot of the balls that are going to be going in here, as we see this coming back out, the second balls are going to be really important on any field, but especially on a field that's tight like this one. And I think a lot of moving around and trying to find that second ball is going to create a lot of opportunities for either team.
Good reflexes by that man, Andrew Dykstra. Helps to be 6'4", too. It's Jack Avessian, corner kick on the far side, curling to the 6 and headed out. There's Nicholson now. Nicholson, left foot one, takes a deflection. Come here to the edge of the box. Here's Luke Mulholland. C.D. Baugh tracking back, doing some defensive work. And now it's Charleston on the move. And Alex Kasky just gets shoved out of the way by Paul Nicholson, and we play on.
Alex, who played started every game, 76 games for Davidson. And a familiar name to me. His brother Ethan played for me at Georgetown. And very hard-nosed defender. I'm sure Alex learned a lot of his trade going against Ethan in the backyard. I'm not sure if Ethan knocked Alex off the ball like he just happened there.
Tyler Noviello has 1 goal in the season so far. Looking for another one here tonight. We are in the 18th minute. Scoreless at Legion Stadium. Wilmington Hammerheads against the defending league champion Charleston Battery.
As each team has had one very good chance so far, but I think it's a difference in the mentality of how they deal with it. Wilmington always feels they can score this year. They've scored quite a number of goals. I don't think they'll get frustrated by missing. On the other hand, Charleston could get frustrated if they have, you know, too many chances like that where they do not score. And the rest of the team battling hard. They need somebody up top, a couple of people to step up and put that ball in the back of the net.
18 goals for the Hammerheads this season. In just 11 games, as Captain Colin Falvey has words with Mark Buda. It will be a free kick. You see Mike Anheuser, star at Indiana University and former player with the Battery. In fact, he was a player for the Battery when David Irving was coaching down in Myrtle Beach. So that's how long their relationship goes back. Now here's a 50-50 ball at midfield, won by Gyler Noviello, but sent back inside. Gareth Evans got his head to that one for Wilmington. Diving header sends it back up for. That would have been offside. Yep. Now here's Tom Parrott. He will push forward from his right back position. He'll let Luke Mulholland do this one. And Budny gets Sean Flatley, got him in the back. It's going to be a free kick here.
Yeah, you know, if Flatley did have contact with him, it was really a poor foul to give there because Budny has nowhere to go. We have a look at it here, and Sean coming up, and that's enough of a nudge, especially as the guy's moving. And really, where does he have to go but the sideline? So just stay behind him and be a smarter defender there. As we've said before, giving up restarts anywhere in the final third is a scoring opportunity.
And this will be one. Jack Avesian has one option. Luke Mulholland has another. Andrew Dykstra wants a two-man wall. Now he's got it. It's going to be Luke Mulholland to hit this one. Scoreless match, 20th minute. Can the Hammerheads break it open? Not with a free kick like that, most likely.
No, they won't on that one for sure. Yeah, one of the things that free kick is that there was no movement yet from the forwards, and Mulholland just put it in a bit too quick.
Budney with a nice idea, but again, Yeoman's worked by Mike Sayer at the top of the box, and he starts the counterattack for Charleston. There's Kasky. Hit from behind by Mulholland. Right back the other way. Budney now plays it back to Mulholland. He draws three defenders. It's put out of play here on the near side by Sean Flatley, another rookie. Tom Parrott now to throw this one in. Dykstra thought about coming out, then went back on his line. And here's Dane Kelly. Kelly with some space. Switches it to the far side. And Charleston has to go back to Nicky Patterson. A lot of things run through Patterson. He's got it at the halfway line. Kasky. Now Flatley here to Mike Zaire. Zaire will scuff one along the turf, and it's picked off by the Hammerheads. We'll also see Dylan Riley, who has the ball now. Just gave it up from left back. He'll also get forward. But that will put more pressure on those center backs because of C.D. Baugh and Dane Kelly always lurking.
Well, it's one of the things, and it's one of the trade-offs. You try to get the wide backs forward, but you leave more space for the speed of Dane Kelly in the counterattack.
This portion of the match brought to you by Umbro, true to soccer since 1924. For more information, visit umbro.com. There's a left-footed shot and a save by Carl Pollock. Dane Kelly got in, rocketed one to the near post, and Pollock equal to the task.
I tell you, that chance almost came out of really nothing. It didn't seem like anything was happening. All of a sudden, the ball's at his feet here. He really strikes a very good ball with his left foot. He might have caught him at the near post if the keeper had not got set quickly there. Let's say you look at that replay, a ton of space at the far post for that shot.
First corner kick of the night for the Battery. Girls to the 6, headed away. It'll be held in here. Chip back into the mixer. Pollock has to come out, and it's headed just wide.
We talked about the fact that it's a lot of second chances, sealing the ball in off restarts, and that's exactly where that went. The ball came back out, and Kasky was able to keep it in. Nice little chip behind the defense as they were coming out, and the defense trying to pull the Charleston players offside, but they beat that, and almost a flick for an open net. Having said this, Ken, this is where Charleston has to keep, a good focus, not be frustrated that they've had a couple of very good chances without getting a goal yet.
Charleston does have the ball back, though. And we'll go with Zach Prince over there, right midfield. There you see Mr. Prince. we got foul called there, and this will give Charleston a free kick chance. Law and Kelly create havoc even when they're not in the box. Draw fouls and set up free kicks.
One goes with the runner. One goes with the runner.
Patterson already has 2 free kick goals this year against New York and Charlotte. This is about maybe 28, 29 yards from goal, but he's not going to take it. He'll be sent into the box, and Pollock grabs it at the 6. Pollock getting more and more confidence with every start. Sean Flatley rocketed that one.
Yeah, Pollock came out well for that. It was actually a pretty well hit ball, and there was a bit of a space open between the central defense and the wide defense on that. Had it just dropped a little sooner, there might have been a chance on goal.
Now it's Zaire again cleaning this one up and sending this ball up here near us. Zaire, the UCLA product, 26 years old, one of the veterans. You know, at 26, this is a couple of young teams in a young league. A lot of youth on display here every week on our USL Pro Game of the Week. Exciting young talent.
Well, I think that's one, I'm sorry, Ken. One of the great things about this league is seeing some guys that come in their first and second years and seeing how they adjust to the professional game. And on this field, one of the big adjustments is that you have to play quicker. Your brain has to go a little bit faster because the time and space is really taken away from you on here.
This portion of the match brought to you by the Premier Development League, providing a pathway to the professional game. We'll talk with Jeff McCraney, the senior director of the PDL, at halftime. A lot of these players applied their trade in the PDL before they turned professional. Here's Dane Kelly, the Jamaican. He's inside to Patterson. Patterson will send it to the far side to Mark Wiltsey. Wiltsey now will push forward. Patterson was trying to get that one forward. Now he has to come back and wrestle Nicholson for the ball. With Budney. One thing Budney does for a forward, he really makes a nice first touch, decides where he's going to send the ball. He can be really helpful in distribution.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that can hold the ball up and allow the rest of the players to get into the game. And when a player does that, he pulls the defender out, and there's little spaces that come in behind him. So if you can lay it off and you get some of those runs in behind, that's the quality of having a target player that can hold it under pressure.
Now another throw in from the far side touchline. Charleston with it. That one, I don't know if he just saw Pollock maybe off his line and decided to have a go or what. This field is not only narrow, it's a little bit short. And Zach Prince is learning all the ins and outs here.
Well, Zach scored a number of goals for Ralph Lundy at the College of Charleston, and he thinks he can score from anywhere on this field. It does give you the feeling, though, with it being narrow, that you do have chances to score when you're a bit deeper than you might normally shoot it.
Well, both these teams have had chances. Here in the 27th minute, no goals yet, but not for lack of trying. Both keepers have been tested and have come through to this point. Here's Budney now. We'll go back to Gareth Evans. Now Tom Parrott. Ivan Becerra now. Across the midfield stripe. Hounded there by Dane Kelly. Gets away from him. Now Avessian at the edge. Well, left foot one across to the far post, and Zaire gets ahead on it. Can they keep it in? Yes, but we'll have to knock it all the way back.
It's interesting, Ken, that when Wilmington is on the attack here, as we're going to see here, it almost becomes a 2-4-4 because of the wide backs getting forward. And really, you have Paul Nicholson, number 19, dropping back a lot to help the defenders. But it really makes Dane Kelly doing a lot of work chasing back and forth between the two central backs.
Tom Parrott can launch balls from right back, and that one's chested down by Budney. And Zaire will keep it in play and get it back to Dykstra. Dykstra in the face of pressure there from Luke Mulholland. Had to play it into touch on the near side. Mulholland is all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah, I tell you, I like that player, and he's good on the ball. He's in good positions off the ball. He reads his teammates' runs very well. Also, the player's not just good himself; he makes his teammates look good as well.
Now Budney places a Mulholland, spins away from the defender, but Zaire is there. That's cleaned up by Colin Falvey. Gareth Evans heading with Dane Kelly here, and Evans fouled him. Evans wants you all to follow him at Gareth Evans 23. He's not only ever present in the defensive backfield, but he's all over Twitter, so he wants more followers. I don't think that Dane Kelly is necessarily going to follow him after that.
He's not going to follow him, and you know, you can send him something on Twitter and talk to him about that foul. No need to hold on to him at that part of the field.
Nicholson got ahead to that one. Charleston has it back. Now it's Mike Zaire coming up. Try to play that one forward. Dane Kelly didn't hit that as well as I think he wanted to. And now they'll push it to Mark Wiltsey. Wiltsey will bounce one through the box. There's a shot in the goal. We talked about C.D. Baugh and Dane Kelly, and Baugh was right there to pounce on half a chance.
Yes, he did. And I'll tell you, his first chance of the game as well. And that was also Mark Wiltsey, his second or third time getting forward from the right back position. And we see this. Look at the ball going out from Caskey. Wiltsey coming across. Beautiful cross in between. Gets a little fortunate on a touch there. C.D. Baugh looked like maybe he got a shoelace or something to redirect that. He's certainly going to take the credit. Getting his second goal of the year. And I'll tell you, there was enough defenders there to be in good position, though, and clear that ball out. That's be a frustrating goal to let up at home for Wilmington. But one of the things we talked about is, would Charleston get frustrated from the early misses? And clearly the answer is no.
And C.D. Baugh gives thanks to a higher power for his first goal of the game, second of the year. I hope his first one was pretty, because that one, maybe not so much. But it's beautiful when puts your team on top at the half-hour mark, and we have just passed it here at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now here's Tom Parrott launching one into the box as the hometown Hammerheads are now chasing the game. Charleston clears that one out towards midfield. Gareth Evans is there. This ball through the middle is intercepted. C.D. Baugh, the goal scorer. Wiltsey again into space, this time for Kelly. Nice tackle by Ivan Becerra. Well, we talked about Wilmington's 18 goals, but it's Charleston who rarely scores goals. Gets on the score sheet first. That's just their 13th of the season.
Yeah, they've been shut out a number of times, and shut out here about a month ago, 3-0. And as we say at the opening, what a big game this could be for them.
Pollock again with some pressure has to leap over Dane Kelly. Not that hard to do. Kelly's not a big guy, Kyle Pollock is. Mulholland gets his head to that one. Now here's Parrott. No liner for Budney. One touch here to Mulholland. Those two have been working up this right side, and Budney finds some space. Shot is blocked, easy as you please, and knocked into the touch here on the near side.
That was a good combination between the two. Very good understanding and getting a chance off of that.
Parrott will get a run up here for the throw-in. Not a lot of space in touch either to run up and to the far post. Dykstra's there. Dykstra's broken toe was on his plant foot, so it made it really hard for him to do what he's about to do here. Feeling much better now, and he is able to hit the ball a long way. Can be an offensive weapon. Mulholland is fouled here as Zaire goes up his back.
Again, we'll see this again. You know, we've seen a number of fouls that are quite unnecessary, going over the top, and it could be the bouncing of the ball a little bit higher than they're used to. Certainly the Charleston players, on this turf, the ball bouncing a little bit more. It's really dangerous to give up these free kicks. Although, these are tough ones right down the center. That's where the ball needs to go.
Gareth Evans to the edge of the box. Baugh gets there. Dykstra yelling, get out, get out. He wanted everybody out of the box. Now they got to get back in there as Wilmington has the ball back. And Parrott now sends one to the 18. That one went out. Off the hammerhead will be a throw-in. Mark Wiltsey. Dylan Riley was working over there on that far side touchline and wins a throw for his team. To Guzman. Again, Budny. And if he slid that one through, it didn't matter. It was offside anyway.
Yep, sometimes there's a reason you're that wide open. He was very wide open there, but offside. I think one thing with Wilmington is they do need to stick with the game plan and try to get their wide backs forward where they're getting some chances in there. And very big thing for them to get on the second balls because I think a lot of the attack's going to come off the second chances, coming back out from the balls going into the center of the box.
Now, these two teams have played friendlies over the years. They had never played a league match against one another before the meeting here last month. But they did play twice in the U.S. Open Cup over the years, with Charleston winning both. And the Open Cup figured prominently in both of these two teams' seasons. Let's go down to Jason for more on the Open Cup.
PDL's Kitsap Pumas advanced to the third round of the U.S. Open Cup for the first time in their team history. They're matched up against the Seattle Sounders of MLS now. But there's an interesting twist to this, guys. Their head coach, Peter Fewing, he works for the Sounders as well. He does their color commentating for their radio and their TV broadcast. And he's already said that he's not going to coach the game. He wants to avoid any sort of conflict of interest there. He's got his assistant coaches taking the lead and taking the team into Seattle on Tuesday. Guys?
Yeah, Jason, I ain't going to mess with where the money comes from. That's
No,
what I've always heard.
You got that right. If they pull the upset, it has nothing to do with him. He's still got his job on both ends.
Well, the Pumas and Chicago Fire Premier are two PDL teams that have made it into the third round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. All those games will be contested on Tuesday, and we'll have more on that as the evening wears on. Exciting things happening from the PDL level and the USL Pro level. This portion of the match brought to you by the W League, the first and longest running national women's soccer league in North America. Nicholson wins that ball in the midfield. Vessian plays it over to Dylan Riley on the left side. 36th minute. Speedy, I keep wanting to call him Speedy. He should be Speedy. I mean, he is Speedy.
Exactly.
Sidiba, who scored in the 30th minute. And has given Charleston a one-goal advantage. It was Gilo Noviello trying to run onto that one. And Captain Colin Falvey there to send it up towards midfield.
Yeah, I think one thing right now to me that's missing with Wilmington's play is that we're not seeing Paul Nicholson or Manny Guzman at all in the center midfield getting the ball. It's all bypassing them and hoping to get on the second ball that comes off of it, which is all fair and good if you're getting on that second ball. But right now, it's like one chance and out.
You saw Andre Budny there. They run a lot of stuff on the right side to him. Tom Parrott here, very skilled at right back. The ball took a deflection. It's headed out of the box by Charleston. Nicholson will run onto it, though, and strike it. And it'll curl all the way to the far side. Paul Nicholson played every minute of every match in the league so far for David Irving.
And this is a player, Paul, that, he sits in the front of the back four most of the time and it really tries to clog that middle there so the other teams can't get through. But he's also the connector on the other end. And when he gets the ball, he's making it, getting it to the guys that make things happen, the Mulhollands and the Budneys and players. Very good player, Nicholson, All-American from Rio Grande College.
There you see the long goal kick launched by Andrew Dykstra and earned some real estate for his side, and there'll be a throw-in for the Battery on the far side. 38th minute. Battery are already up by a goal to nil. 50-50 ball there that Alex Caskey tried to get to. It'll bounce back into the center circle. He's sent forward to Kevin Jackson. Bob will play this one wide, but Mike Zaire is not going to get there.
No, and he really should have been able to get that into Zaire's run because there's a ton of space, quite a bit margin of error, and he still overhit that.
Now Ivan DeSera. Wants someone to show for him. That not happening. He'll just take it across midfield himself. Again, they push the wings.
Pushing the wings up at it, but what's happening right now is that Paul Nicholson is wide open in the center midfield. And if they would play a couple balls through him, it could draw the Charleston defenders out a little bit further. Right now, the Charleston defenders are very happy sitting a little bit further back. But I think they got to take advantage of Nicholson being so wide open and play through him a little bit.
David Irving and his assistant Kevin Johnson. Benches on the far side. Kyle Pollock sends this goal kick just shy of midfield. Get it on by Jailor Noviello. I'll bounce back here to Tom Parrott. Again, he looks for Budney. Zaire is there again. Mulholland swoops in, tries to win that one. Oh, that one went off Parrott. It's picked off here by C.D. Ba. They don't have numbers up, so they'll play it to the far side. And I'll try to switch it here, but here's Kevin Jackson. Square ball to Dane Kelly. Kelly backs it up to Zaire.
So Kelly and Ba, if they get a little more understanding, Kelly could have left that ball for Ba, a good dummy there, and just go right off it. And Ba was actually hoping for that. He was open behind Kelly.
Wiltsey tried to bring that up and cross it from the right side. There you see Mark Wiltsey, who assisted on C.D. Ba's goal. That is the only goal of this match to this point. Plays that one nicely, and Alex Caskey goes down, courtesy of Dylan Riley. We're in the 41st minute. Battery with the lead and the ball in a deep throw-in. Sarah got his head to that one, and we'll do it again. Wiltsey with the Ba. And too strong on that one, over the out for a goal kick. We're at Legion Stadium, Wilmington, North Carolina. Ken Tomash and Keith Tabachnik with you, along with Jason Arnold, our man in touch. We're in the 41st minute. Kyle Pollock has that goal kick dropped untouched just across midfield, but Wilmington has it. Want to go out off the Battery over on the far side and into the Charleston bench. Jack Avessian is there, but he'll let Dylan Riley take the throw. Budney chests that one down. Alex Caskey, rookie midfielder, done nice work tonight. Tried to get that one to Noviello, and it went out off Zach Prince. So far, they haven't really gotten Noviello into the match very much either. They've been running most everything down this right side.
Yeah, they have actually, and you know, the only time we've really called Noviello's name was when he got fouled right at the beginning of the game. And he has certainly not been involved. And you know, more likely that at some point in the game, if that continues, that you'll see Chris Banks getting in. You know, maybe in the last 15 or 20 minutes, should the Wilmington still need a goal to get back. And one thing with Wilmington, they have scored goals late in games.
That's right. In the last 15 minutes of games, in fact, they've got 7 goals, including the one we saw a week ago, when Andre Budney scored about 7 minutes from time to get them a 1-1 draw in Orlando. And then they scored almost as late as you can score Tuesday night in the second overtime to win their U.S. Open Cup match here.
We'll be sending them to Salt Lake on Tuesday. We've got a bit of a travel schedule to go through, and of course Charleston with a game tomorrow against Pittsburgh as well. And the coaches, you know, kind of have to manage their teams, you know, differently, and you know, use the bench. And at any team that you have during the course of a game and course of the season, your depth becomes very important.
Well, here's the actual numbers on this. Charleston is going to play 7 games in 23 days, and the Hammerheads are going to play 8 games in 25 of this month. Very tough to do.
It is tough to do, and I like the fact that USL has 5 subs, and I actually think that in the whole world they should go to more than 3 subs in games. The schedules are so compact now. Of course, when they play in the Open Cup, that's back down to just 3 subs.
And so that made David Irving's job even more difficult, because then they went 120 minutes on Tuesday night. We are in the final few minutes here. David Irving's Wilmington Hammerheads down a goal. Dylan Riley gets his head to that one. And Guzman will head it back. Gareth Evans.
Okay, so I would say, Ken, that USL has certainly proven that they're one of the strongest and most sophisticated, experienced professional franchises, professional organizations in the country below the MLS. And maybe FIFA can take a little bit from the USL playbook in terms of the substitutions. I really think that it makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes we have some good ideas here in the States.
Absolutely.
That one goes out off Luke Mulholland. Mulholland was actually in training camp with the Battery this season, but they had too many international players and could not sign him, so Mike Enheiser had to let him go, and David Irving was only happy enough.
Very happy.
To bring the rookie from Wingate University in.
Yes.
Now here's Nicky Patterson. Oh, I thought that was going to hurt. That hurt up here. Oh, and now that maybe the retaliation by Gareth Evans here.
It was. I was just about to say that his favorite player, is Mulholland is Paul Gascoigne, and he shows a lot of Gascoigne on the offensive end. But I would say right here he's showing a little of Gaz on the other side of it, the retaliation.
Evans, whacked him. He's fortunate not to go in Mark Buda's book on that one.
Yeah, I tell you, I put him in the book for that foul more than I would have put the caution early in the game on Falvey.
Just 1 minute of time added. So swung to the far side of the box, and Dean Kelly is there to go out of play. We are just past 45 minutes played, and Mark Buda's adding just one more here. Kyle Pollock may use a lot of that, just tracking down that ball in the corner. Taking his time, his team down a goal. Pollock's goal kick again, just over the center line. Set back the other way by Zach Prince. As it runs up the corner flag. This may be the end of the opening act here. Just seconds left in the first half. Is it time for one more rush? Gareth Evans sends it long. And that's it. Mark Buda whistles the first half to a conclusion. C.D. Baugh's 30th minute goal is the difference as the Charleston Battery lead the Wilmington Hammerheads 1-0 at the break. We'll be back with halftime here on the USL Pro Game of the Week on Fox Soccer. Stay with us.
It's Pep Boys Summer Free-For-All. Hot, free deals this week only. Buy 2 installed Definity tires and get up to $40 off instantly. Buy 4 installed Definity tires, get up to $100 off instantly. $100 off. Plus, get a free $25 prepaid gas card when you purchase any 4 installed tires. Pep Boys will beat all service and tire deals guaranteed.
Pep Boys does everything for less.
Still at the office? Man, you need a vacay. Don't have to go far for fun. Ride a dune buggy or scuba diving. Pow! I make it easy. You make it fun. So many super destinations, such low rates.
I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today. I just wanna know today, know today, know today. Know that maybe I will be okay. Know that maybe
Travelers can help you protect the things you care about and save money with multi-policy discounts. Are you getting the coverage you need and the discounts you deserve? For an agent or quote, call 800-MY-COVERAGE or visit travelers.com.
Thanks to the venture card from Capital One, we get double miles on every purchase. So me and the lads earned a trip to San Francisco twice as fast. We get double miles every time we use our card. I'll take these two, no matter what we're buying. And all of those? And since double miles add up fast, we can bring the whole gang. It's hard to beat double miles.
Whoa, dude.
Get the venture card from Capital One and earn double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Charcoal went out already? Forget it.
There's more barbecue time in every bag of Kingsford charcoal. Kingsford, slow down and grill.
The search for gold all comes down to this. USA versus Mexico. Team USA solidifies their spot in the final. Now they face their biggest rival, Mexico. The Gold Cup Final, live from the Rose Bowl, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox Soccer. This summer, exclusive international rivalries are on Fox Soccer. Chelsea take on the best in Asia. The BPL compete against Hong Kong's first division. Man City and Inter square off in the Dublin Super Cup. Top BPL teams take on the MLS. Don't miss any of the action this summer, only on Fox Soccer.
Baseball's biggest stars take center stage at the 2011 All-Star Game. Live July 12th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox.
The broadcast of this match is authorized by United Soccer Leagues. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of USL is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced for USL by Cultural Global Media Incorporated. We're back in Wilmington, and the Charleston Battery leads the Wilmington Hammerheads by a goal to nil at halftime of the USL Pro Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer. You know, 15 of the 22 players who started this match spent time honing their game in the PDL, and 69% of the players taken in this year's MLS Super Draft were former PDL players. We recently asked Jeff McCraney, Senior Director of the PDL, what makes the 64-team league the top men's developmental league in North America.
I think you have to take a number of things into consideration. First and foremost, the natural progression of the game. As the game has grown in the United States, so have the better clubs, the better leagues like the PDL, and certainly the players that are in those leagues, and the college players as well. And one thing about the college players in particular is that they want a place to play in the off-season. They want a place to stay game fit and keep their game sharp, and they have found that in the PDL. It's a perfect complement to the college season. And I think the other thing is really that the ownership groups that we have, really the PDL fits in any market. So really there's just a variety of ownership groups that can make this successful in the various markets that we're in.
You have a lot of diversity in the models and the approaches that your PDL teams take. Talk a little bit about how beneficial that is.
Well, I think the diversity really reflects the diversity in the sport itself. The various cultures all around the world that support the game, and all around North America that support the game as well. So really the PDL is just a natural reflection of that. And when you've got groups in Laredo and Winnipeg and here in Orlando, as well as all up in the Northeast and the West Coast, you're really going to see that diversity in the ownership groups, the PDL clubs themselves. And I think it also shows that our model adapts to really any market, and that it fits within any community.
And obviously the PDL is the destination league for the best U23 players in the country. Why is this so attractive to the top collegiate players?
Well, it's really all about opportunity. Opportunity first and foremost to develop, opportunity to advance, and that's to the next level within the pros. We saw 70% of the players that have gone and been taken in the MLS draft over the last 6 years come through the PDL. And certainly it's a place, it's a stepping stone, if you will, to the next level that most players have found that they can take advantage of. And finally, it's just the highest level of competition that there is. They know that this is the place to be with all the other elite college players, as well as some of the players still trying to get to the next level that are no longer in college as well.
In just about 6 weeks, we'll bring you the PDL Championship match right here on Fox Soccer. We'll see who can knock the defending champs from Portland off their perch, if anyone can. A week before that, we'll bring you the W League final from Seattle. More than 60 former W League players are on rosters for the FIFA Women's World Cup, which begins this weekend in Germany. We'll have much more on the W League next week when we'll be in Queens, New York, as FC New York takes on Antigua Barracuda FC in our next USL Pro Game of the Week. Join us next Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live. Here we are at Wilmington, North Carolina, and the Hammerheads are chasing a goal. Charleston leads them 1-0. We'll be back with more at halftime after this. Don't go away.
The legendary New York Cosmos are back, and to mark the club's rebirth, Umbro has applied its celebrated football tailoring ethos to the brand new 2011 collection. Anthem jacket, Cosmos tees, New York Cosmos jersey, 1976-1977 home jersey. For the complete New York Cosmos line, go to soccer.com/Umbro.
So DiGiorno comes with boneless wings now?
Oh, yeah, great wings.
So why did you call?
Just want to give you your menus back. Fridge magnet and 2 unused coupons. Okay?
New DiGiorno pizza and boneless wings. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno pizza and wings.
Dempsey with the ball. What's better than watching a game with Modelo Especial?
Check this out.
Being there. Go to your retailer to learn how to enter to win a soccer trip of a lifetime. Modelo Especial.
Also get a free flight.
You know that comes with a private island.
Really?
No, it comes with a hat. You see, airline credit cards promise flights for 25,000 miles, but...
There's never any seats for 25,000 miles.
Frustrating, isn't it? But that won't happen with the Capital One Venture Card. You can book any airline, anytime. Hey, I just said that. After all, isn't traveling hard enough?
To get the flight you want, sign up for a venture card at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet? It's okay. I've played a pilot before.
Every weekend, feel the raw emotion of Soccer Night in America. All the glory of every play. Unbelievable! Every goal. Beckham scored! Soccer Night in America on Fox Soccer.
Milito alla conclusione, cross, choice is his, it is a shot. Este es el momento esperado.
Baseball's biggest stars take center stage at the 2011 All-Star Game. Live July 12th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Only on Fox.
Back in Wilmington on the USL Pro Game of the Week, the Charleston Battery leads the Hammerheads by a 1-0, and we are at halftime. USL Pro has been dominant through 2 rounds of the US Open Cup. The only USL Pro teams that have lost have been knocked out by teams in the league. 6 USL Pro teams will face MLS competition next week in round 3. Rochester, who won the whole thing in 1999, is the only USL Pro team that will be hosting a game. All these matchups will be Tuesday night, and they will all be outstanding, I can assure you. Ken Tomash and Keith Tabatsnik here with you at halftime with Charleston leading by a 0-0. Pretty interesting match, lots of end-to-end action. Let's go right to the highlights and show you how this one played out. Early on, it was the goalkeepers, Keith, who had a hand in things.
Yes, it was. This is Mulholland putting the ball right in, and here's Dykstra punching the ball out, but Guzman coming up from behind to put the ball on target. Another save by Dykstra, and then we're coming back down, and it's Dane Kelly with a shot saved by Pollock. Dane Kelly, his second good chance of the game. Here he tries another shot. It's held out. Talking about second balls and keep them in. Play into Kasky. Put out wide to the right back. Wilsey coming forward. Played in. And Seedy Bauer with the goal. The lone goal of the game in the 30th minute.
Wilmington's been running everything down the right side, but it's Charleston that gets their goal from a build-up on the right side.
It is Charleston. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wilmington. Will they stay with the 4-2-2 or go back 4-4-2 or go back to the 4-3-3?
Charleston outshot Wilmington 5-2 in that first half. And so it is 45 minutes down and 45 minutes left for the Hammerheads to try to improve their record to 6-1 at home. They trail by a goal. We'll be back with the second half after this. Stay with us. You're watching the USL Pro Game of the Week on Fox Soccer.
The legendary New York Cosmos are back, and to mark the club's rebirth, Umbro has applied its celebrated football tailoring ethos to the brand new 2011 collection. Anthem jacket, Cosmos tees, New York Cosmos jersey, 1976-1977 home jersey. For the complete New York Cosmos line, go to soccer.com/Umbro.
Ever wonder who's searching for you?
8 people searching for me?
Go to mylife.com, the internet's leading people search site, where you can find personal and business connections. More than just friends. Just type in your name and see if someone is searching for you for free.
Could be my old office. Maybe they want me back.
At mylife.com, there are millions of people joining each month. You could have messages waiting for you right now. Go to mylife.com and see if someone is searching for you right now for free.
Thanks to the Venture Card from Capital One, we get double miles on every purchase. So me and the boys earned a trip to DC twice as fast. Oh, hi! We get double miles every time we use our card. And since double miles add up fast, one more chariot, please. We can bring the whole gang.
I cannot tell a lie. He did it.
Right. It's hard to beat double miles. Read my lips! No new access!
Get the Venture Card from Capital One and earn double miles on every purchase every day. Go to CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet? So you're a Democrat, right?
Tomorrow, it's Soccer Night in America on Fox Soccer. The LA Galaxy turns to Beckham to keep them on top. But the Earthquakes want to shut down their in-state rivals. San Jose Earthquakes, LA Galaxy, live tomorrow, only on Fox Soccer.
FoxSoccer.com, the world's leading soccer site, just got better. Now featuring exclusive match highlights from the Barclays Premier League, UEFA Champions League, and more. From Rooney and the Red Devils to Messi and Barcelona. Catch the best plays from each game online, only on FoxSoccer.com. The search for gold all comes down to this. USA versus Mexico. Team USA solidifies their spot in the final. Now they face their biggest rival, Mexico. The Gold Cup Final, live from the Rose Bowl, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox Soccer.
This broadcast of USL Pro is brought to you by USLSoccer.com. Scores, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLSoccer.com, the official website of United Soccer Leagues. By Umbro, true to soccer since 1924. For more information, visit umbro.com. By the PDL, the Premier Development League, providing a pathway to the professional game. And by the W League, the first and longest running National Women's Soccer League in North America. Well, TVs don't have knobs anymore, but if they did, you could just leave it on Fox Soccer and rip the knob off tomorrow. It's Soccer Night in America as Major League Soccer gives you a great California matchup between San Jose and the LA Galaxy, and staying in California at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. It's the Gold Cup Final, the USA against Mexico. What more needs to be said? That's at 8:30 And it's all live in HD here on Fox Soccer. Let's go down to our man in touch, Jason Arnold, for the start of the second half.
Thanks, guys. Hey, I spoke with both coaches at halftime, and they're both pretty happy with the play so far. Coach Irvin, he says they're getting pretty good action down the right side of the field. He wants to start seeing some left side a little bit more. Coach Anheuser, he's happy as well. They're really looking to keep pressure and keep using CD's speed up top. They're really excited to get the second half. The wind's starting to be a bit of a factor down here. It's going to be in the favor of Wilmington Hammerheads, so we'll see what happens in the second half, guys.
Thank you, Jason. Good stuff. And Coach, now here is where we're going to start to really see the chess match happen because of the varying things. David Irving obviously wants to get a win at home, and Mike Anheuser has to start thinking about what he does because he's got a home match tomorrow night.
No, absolutely. And one thing about playing 2 matches in a weekend, boy, if you can get 3 points in that first match, it takes a lot of pressure off the second one. And, players going, they're holding off, Armstrong and Wilson and some good players that hopefully will be back in for tomorrow as well. And certainly I think he'd like to hold out, some more players and start a lot of fresh players tomorrow if he can. But, this is far from over. Wilmington, team that can score goals, and be surprised if they don't before the night's out.
No substitutes at the half. There's a dangerous ball that drops into the box and forces it to be headed back to Andrew Dykstra. We talked about the challenging schedule both of these teams face here as you see Sean Flatley. It'll be 4 games in 8 days for Charleston, the more recent, and 4 games in 11 days for Wilmington. Plus you factor in the travel. This is actually not a bad trip. Charleston only a few hours to get here by bus, but Wilmington has to get on an airplane and go out to Utah and take on Real Salt Lake on Tuesday and come back and get back into league play. And if they're fortunate enough, maybe continue on in the Open Cup.
No, exactly. And deal with the altitude issues at Salt Lake as well. So it kind of, multiplies the difficulty of traveling out there.
But this is why you play. You want shots like that. Real Salt Lake very nearly won the CONCACAF Champions League final. And so what more can you ask for as a professional player than to have that opportunity? Here they play that one into space, and Gareth Evans gets in there. Oh, that was almost a very dangerous ball as Evans maybe a little bit too nonchalantly as Dane Kelly was crashing in on that one, but they made it look easy.
Yeah, he ended up getting it, and that could be a little bit of Pollock just playing his second game and the communication issues between him and his back four as well.
Woodney has that one cleared away from him. Becerra tracks that one down. And he'll play it to Gareth Evans. Dangerous ball in the box, cleared away by Charleston. To the center circle. And Becerra was all over Dane Kelly there. Results in a turnover. Oh, slotted that one through, and if Jailor Noviello had maybe been a step quicker, he might have been in on goal.
I'll tell you, he needed to be a step quicker, both of his feet, and up top, because that was a pretty obvious lane that the ball could be played through, and it was a very good ball. And this field, the ball will move fast, but it didn't look like he was ready for that, and he was right into goal. Excellent ball.
Manny Guzman drops that one over the back line of the Charleston Battery. We are just underway here in the second half from Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's actually Jurgensen Gabriel Field we're playing on, named after a pair of American footballers you may remember if you're old enough. Sonny Jurgensen and Roman Gabriel.
Absolutely. Washington Redskins and Los Angeles Rams.
And here it's the Charleston Battery wearing red and black and attacking from left to right here in the second half. And it's Mark Wiltsey who's assisted on the lone goal of this game, pushing that one forward.
Well, Wiltsey had a great career at South Carolina, and he certainly showing that his adjustment into the pro level is going very well. I've been impressed with him getting up and down the right side and also doing the defending part. One thing they did say, what Jason said, they want to try to get down that left side going forward, which would put more pressure on Wiltsey.
Throw in here by Zach Prince. Into the box. Get it back out to Wiltsey. Prince now will serve this one from the right wing. Pollock knocks it down, but the rebound is just sitting there. Wiltsey gets it back. Way too much space he had. The flag was up. The flag was up. Not a goal.
That's a shame. It was an excellent ball as well through there, and I'm sure it wasn't very, it was close, I'm sure, with the offside, but he definitely was in behind, and we have the replay here as the ball is just being played, and
Yeah, barely.
Just barely. But I'll tell you what, that was very close. And he was put offside, but not on purpose. Center back there was holding a little bit, got a bit lucky. And one of the things that if they do attack down the left side, we're talking about Wilmington, starts getting on the left side, they'll also stop Wiltsey from getting forward because they'll have to stay back a little bit more.
Well, we talked about the travel both of these two teams face. Let's go down to Jason for more on that. Jason.
You guys have brought it up a couple times here. Wilmington, they've advanced to the third round of the U.S. Open Cup. They're facing a tough travel schedule. You mentioned it. They're heading out to Utah. They're going to be playing Real Salt Lake on Tuesday. They're back here in Wilmington to host the L.A. Blues on Saturday. Down to Antigua for 2 games against the Barracudas FC. But all in all, they're going to be traveling 7,000 miles over the next 2 weeks. So it's a tough travel schedule, and we'll see how they handle it over the next couple weeks.
David Irving they were quarterfinalists in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup twice. Of course, Charleston's run of making it 4 straight years to the quarters ended with their loss on Tuesday at home to Orlando. They were finalists in 2008. And here in league play, they were league champs last year. That one gets away from Tom Parrott. We are in the 51st minute here at Legion Stadium, and the Wilmington Hammerheads are chasing a goal, and those red-clad defenders, they understand that. So there's 5 or 6 of them just in or outside, just outside the box. One of them clears that one back out to midfield. And while this game is going on, there's a few other games tonight. Charlotte Eagles lead the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2-0 in the second half, and we talked about Antigua Barracuda FC. They are trailing at home to Orlando, who leads the division 2-1 there at the Sticky Wicket Stadium.
A great name, the Sticky Wicket.
Sorrows aplenty, if that scoreline holds up. Knock towards Andre Budny. Their first note is Sean Flatley. Mulholland now circles back out, plays it back to Gareth Evans along the far side touchline. Quickly play back to Mulholland. Gets it to his left foot. He can score from there, and did Tuesday night for the game winner in their Open Cup match.
And again, we talk about them being able to come back. They're down by 2 goals in that match and came back to win in overtime 3-2. A lot of belief that they can score goals.
That one rides out of play on the near side, looking for Dane Kelly.
One of the things that happens, Ken, though, as the game goes on, and if it stays 1-0, they have to start chasing the game carefully, because the more they do chase it, the more that fits right into Dane Kelly's open field running.
Can't send those backs quite as far forward as they might like to. Wiltsey gets a touch on that one. He kept in here on the near side by Zach Prince, but finally put out of play near side.
I mean, I can certainly see David Irving going into a 4-3-3, something that they've played all year at some point to try to shake things up. They're really not playing through the center midfielders right now anyway, so they don't necessarily need 2 of them in there. Maybe you push an extra player up top.
Well, he definitely wants to get a good result in front of the home folks. Biggest crowd of the season, 5,127 to watch David Irving's Hammerheads. They love them here in Wilmington. This is a big deal. Owner Bill Rudisil has done what it takes to build a great organization from the ground up. He lets David Irving deal with the players. They are a contending team. You see the Port City firm and the supporters have come out in record numbers here to Legion Stadium to cheer on this team.
Well, Ken, they know how to do it. I mean, they're one of 6 USL Pro teams with more than 10 years of operating experience, and I think that's a real...
Noviello, the header off the post. Oh, Noviello got forward that time, and a great ball played in.
I'll tell you, I needed to stop to see that one, and Noviello almost had that. He did attack that wide side. What an excellent cross in. We're just talking about stability, and here was some instability in the defense of the Charleston marking here. Getting on the inside of Wiltsey off that cross, and just a couple inches from this game being tied. You know, Mulholland's cross, we've seen him put it in with the left and now in with the right. And maybe that'll give a little bit of confidence into Noviello, you know, for this game, because he really hasn't made an impact here. It's the first time he got on the inside of something.
Great ball by Mulholland, though, and now he tries to keep that one into the far side, and does. Noviello gets to it. Hammerheads trying to not the score, and that one bounces past. Oh, and we've got Budney. Budney just shoved his man in the back over the end line, and he's got to at least be yellow carded for that, at least.
We certainly don't know what happened to make him do that, but it was very clear what he did, and you can't get away with that. And certainly the assistant referee had a close look at it. Let's have another look and see if we can see what happened in there. They're just going at it.
He hits him in the head.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate that.
Wiltsey came up high with the right arm, and then, well, maybe you card both of them, or you at least give them, you at least dock their allowance. He's going to have a talk with Wiltsey now and saying, I was just coming through and my arm got up. I didn't mean to hit him in the back of the head, but
yeah, I'm
no cautions.
A little surprised they got away with the retaliation, to be honest with you. That certainly looked a lot worse than, Wiltsey's tap to the back of the head.
The fiery Ukrainian. And of course, a tap to the back of the head is a tap when it's someone else's back of the head, not yours. So
exactly.
Andre Budney obviously took offense to that. Gareth Evans gets ahead to that one. Now here's Zach Prince. Up to Wiltsey. Looking forward. And a foul called there. C.D. Kelly rather. Dane Kelly mixed it up along the near side touchline. We are in the 56th minute. The Wilmington Hammerheads attacking from right to left, wearing blue and white, against the defending league champion Charleston Battery, whom they're battling with for the fourth and final playoff spot in the American Division. They're wearing the red and black. I'm Ken Tomash, along with Keith Kabatnik and Jason Arnold, as we bring you the USL Pro Game of the Week for the third consecutive week. And that one's headed over the end line. That'll be a goal kick for Andrew Dykstra. Noviello a little bit more active here in the second half, but some players are up and off the bench for Mike Anheuser, and a couple off David Irving's bench, getting stretched. So we may start to see some subs here. Again, you've got 5 in this league.
But one of the things, the fact that neither coach subbed at the half, and I like that. I don't think that you do sub at half unless there's a really strong reason to do so. Use the halftime to try to make adjustments within the team, and then into the second half, use the subs if you need to. But they were obviously happy, as Jason told us, in his report, that both coaches were happy with the first half. So why change things?
Mulholland plays that one forward to Avessian, stays upright on the touchline, on the byline rather, and cleared away. Final score down the road in Charlotte. The Eagles beat the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2-0. That is the final now. So Charleston, which started play tonight in last place in the division, gets 3 points, and they're now tied with Wilmington, pending the outcome of this game.
And of course, Pittsburgh to head down to the Battery tomorrow night.
Now here's Budney again. Budney takes a left footer. Nicholson is there, but also there. Charleston defense.
And there was Zach Prince fighting his way back from the right midfield spot. A really good defensive play to get in there, because that was an open net. We're seeing a little bit of fight from Wilmington, trying to get that equalizer. Have another look at the chance. The ball coming across from Budney, and yeah, there was Prince getting back in and just getting there in time. Paul Nicholson trying to get on the end of that. Nicholson with 1 goal on the year, trying to double his tally to tie this game. But I think it's something that they need to do. Nicholson needs to get more involved. It's not a lot going through him, and whether it's getting the ball from his backs or trying to get on the end of things, it's a tough mark for defenders to take their center midfielder going through.
Here's C.D. Baugh, the goal scorer. Comes wide here to the Jamaican Dane Kelly. Patterson now. Kevin Jackson. Oh, Jackson thought about sending one into the box, but changed his mind, and Wilmington has it back. Played forward. Noviello. If they work quickly, they've got a chance here. Budney takes off.
But there was wide open on the left side of the field, but nobody coming into it. They could have had a switch. The Charleston defense did not get back right where we see the ball going now. They've been wide open in the attack just a second ago.
I went off the head of Dylan Riley and out. And unless my eyes deceive me, it looks as though David Irving is going to go to his bench for the first time tonight. And it looks like we will see Chris Banks at the next opportunity. So he wasn't quite 100% healthy to go the full 90, but he can certainly change the game here in the last 30 minutes.
Well, I do believe he was him coming off the bench for a couple goals earlier in the week. And, you know, one of the things about players coming off the bench, their job is to make their team better. This is a guy that can do that.
First to throw in here along the near side, and now we will get the substitution. It is Chris Banks who will come in for Jack Avesian.
It'll be interesting to see if this is where they make any sort of formation change. Let's see where Banks comes into. It would look like a straight change with Avesian coming into the left side. You know, I think that's a good sub because, you know, we saw the attack just a little while ago where there just wasn't the legs for Avesian to get off into a tremendous open space he could have got into.
That ball over the top, and offside is Dane Kelly.
So if the goal was to try to get down the left side a little bit more, now is the time to do it with fresh legs, with Banks in. Banks and Noviello right here. Noviello going up to try to flick it on. You see them talking to each other right before that happened.
Now here's Nicky Patterson. Sends it forward. Kelly. Dylan Riley on him down in the corner. Stays with it. Took to Zach Prince. Sent that one too far.
Yeah, there really wasn't much there, and I think for Charleston right there, you know, rather just keep a hold of the ball. Zach Prince was not under pressure. Could have to give it away and just try to find a different option.
Collision's going to result in a free kick here. And Becerra is going to be yellow carded.
And I think that was the feet coming up. He may well have had to hit the ball first, to be honest, but the feet were coming up the whole time, and it will always get you a caution when that happens. Let's see if that's exactly what did. Yeah, he touches the ball, feet up and through, and you know, again, if he does make a big tackle there, they could be off and going on a counterattack, but you're not going to get there in time. Once again, just better to stand them up.
So Ivan Becerra, the second yellow card issued by Mark Buda tonight, the first to Colin Falvey way back in the 8th minute. Here we're in the 63rd minute. Legion Stadium, Wilmington, North Carolina, on the USL Pro Game of the Week. Charleston leading by a goal to nil, and C.D. Baugh gets up. He's okay.
And we'll see it again, and certainly a hard tackle coming in. Touches the ball and right through C.D. Baugh. The 18-year-old back up and in.
Free kick here, Patterson bends it just wide of the post.
And Dane Kelly going down off the ball inside the box, hoping to get something, you know, from the referee, but certainly no call on that one. The ball straight out of bounds. And again, those are tough balls from the middle on free kicks to go straight down. It's very difficult to get a good chance of it. Much better options to play it short and just play, or get it out wide first.
Now Mike Anheuser's going to go to his bench. Looks like we're going to see a couple of guys come in. We're going to see Kevin Jackson go off. Stephen Armstrong, the veteran, is in for Mike Anheuser. And with turf and fixture congestion, maybe, you know, going a lot of minutes was just not an option for the 34-year-old Stephen Armstrong, but he could give you good 27 minutes here towards the end of this one. Can calm things down. He's a guy who can hold the ball very well, and possession would be something they would want to have here.
Yeah, it's well said, Ken. I mean, it's exactly what he will bring to the table. You know, with the team up 1-0, playing away, and having somebody with his experience to come in. I watched Steve when he was in his days with DC United, and of course a great player at Butler University from Cape Town, South Africa.
Manny Guzman's through ball picked off there. Nice back heel pass by Nicky Patterson. And it'll go back onto the Hammerheads back line. Evan Becerra in the 65th minute. Gareth Evans. Whole field and a bunch of teammates in front of him. Launch from the right wing. Over the head, Jairo Noviello. Riley tried to keep it in and did, but cleared out by the Battery, and now Zach Prince goes down. He looks like it may have been a knee to the ribs.
And the referee caught that on the back end after the play. Have another look at this and see exactly what happened as he's going. It just, they just banging knees together. Didn't look like a whole lot, did it?
No.
He's got some sore ribs to begin with, so then it wouldn't take much.
'66th minute here as Andrew Dykstra will look to send this one long. You see the windy conditions tonight. Forecast earlier in the week was for potential thunderstorms, but it is cleared out, and it's a very nice evening here. Cool and still humid, but this place will erupt if the Hammerheads can get the equalizing goal here. Played forward by Falvey. Kelly runs onto it. Kelly cuts it back inside. We'll have a goal. Oh, what a goal! Dane Kelly. We talked about these two young men in the early stages of this game, and Kelly with a beautiful finish.
Well, I'll tell you, he finished that like a seasoned veteran. Look at this ball, just chipped right in by Flatley, and it just held in, the backspin on it. Kelly going, everyone thinks he's going to shoot that, and just tucks it in there. Doubles the lead, and I'll tell you, this is exactly what Mike Onheiser is hoping would happen, that his forwards could start getting the goals and get the confidence in with the rest of the team. And now you got one from each of them.
That will give you confidence.
So we talked about the fact that when you're losing, you got to chase the game, and you got to chase it carefully. And the more that Wilmington chase it, the more space there is for the speed of Dane Kelly.
Well, we know the Hammerheads can score some goals. They desperately need one here. And Stephen Armstrong right there on the spot to scoop up that loose ball and turn it, send it back the other way. Now this one's sent into the box, chested down by Budny. Ball bounces around there. Nicholson tackles it away, but it comes to Nicky Patterson. Collision on the far side. It's back to Wilmington, but only for an instant. Now here's the Hammerheads. This ball's just bouncing around with no one seemingly wanting to hold on to it. Dylan Riley now with some space.
And Dylan Riley tripped off after he played the ball, but Wilmington keeping it and playing on.
Andres Cuero is now in the game. That one's out off a Battery player, and it'll be just the second corner kick of the night for Luke Mulholland.
Now, one of the things that's been happening on the corner kicks and the restarts, we see inside the box is the movement going on ahead of the kick is just too static, and so it's hard to open up the holes in there. A lot of these kicks have been low. They got to get a little bit of movement. They got some big guys in there, and of course seal the ball in for the second one to put back.
69th minute. Corner kick for the Hammerheads. They need a goal. Zayer got a head on that one. And we'll go out for another corner. And before the corner kick can take place, David Irving will make another change, and he'll send Chris Spendlove in. replacing Andre Budny. So now the corner kick will come here from the near side. Curling to the 6. And up in the air, it's that second ball that could be dangerous. Nicholson gets a boot to it. Cuero waiting for it to bounce. Finally cleared by Nicky Patterson.
Well, Ken, if they keep hitting corner kicks that are going to be cleared out by the first defender, then the second ball is the only way they're going to get something back in. And they really need to get that ball over that first defender, because it's also deflating to the team when that happens.
Here's Nicholson now. Plays it wide to Tom Parrott. Parrott sends one just over the head of Andres Cuero. Minute 71 here on the USL Pro Game of the Week. We're at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. And Charleston, just over a month after losing here 3-0, is up 2-0. And a backspin on Andrew Dykstra's goal kick brought that one back here to the near side. Maybe some wind as well. So the Hammerheads have it. Shiloh Noviello. Back to Manny Guzman. Gareth Evans just outside the center circle. There's Noviello, heads it back into the mixer. Drops at the 12-yard mark and is cleared. Here's C.D. Baugh. Now they'll try to spring Dane Kelly, and the flag is up. You can do whatever you want. The flag came up here on the near side, but...
Yeah, it's quite loud out there. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't hear it.
And back way behind the play, at midfield, we've got a man down. That's C.D. Baugh.
Look at this again, and we see as he's going through.
Oh, he got tripped up.
This guy clipped there, and I guess the referee felt that affected the rest of the play. The pass was offside, but I'm not sure that it really did. Not to say that it was the right thing, a foul or anything, but there was advantage, and the guy was offside based on something not to do with the foul.
The ball is up. Now, Wilmington off the turnover. Here's Chris Spenla, the second half substitute. Sent forward for Ivan Becerra, who's come way up. Becerra in the box. That Charleston defense, again, equal to the task, and they clear it over to the far side, does Colin Falvey. Headed forward and just wide of the post. And Andrew Dykstra is none too pleased with that turn of events.
Now he wants to get the team a little bit higher up, because he's allowing these crosses to get in at dangerous areas. He needs his back line to get up a little bit higher, give him a bit of space if it goes over, to be able to come out for the ball.
Well, we've had this wrong, Keith. It's 10. Cuero came in. Chris Banks did not come in for Jakavesian. It was 10, not 18. Hard to see, but that's totally our bad. It's Andres Cuero who came in the 60th minute for Jakavesian. Thought it was 18 from our vantage point. The bench is again on the far side here. We may still see Mr. Banks, but it's Andres Cuero who came in for Jakavesian in minute 60.
My guess is that if Wilmington got a goal back, then we would see Banks go in. I think if they stayed 2 down, he may not risk it.
This is Cuero. Manny Guzman draws a crowd, but lays the ball off. Nice tackle just at the top of the box there by Sean Flatley. You're taking your life in your hands there.
Flatley takes no prisoners, but you have to be careful once you're inside the 18. He did a good job there, and he's actually had a good game. Making a statement that he should get more playing time.
Here's Spenlove coming up the near side, and he can't keep it in play. Well, one guy that David Irving would love to be able to insert into this match is Alex Grendy, who's out for the year. Jason Arnold has more on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alex Grendy is out for the year. He hurt his knee a couple weeks back, but he's a prime example of what the USL developmental pyramid's all about. He started playing at the elite youth soccer level at the Super Y League with the Long Island Rough Riders. He moved into their PDL side, spent 2 seasons with the Columbus Crew in the MLS, and now he's here with the Wilmington Hammerheads and USL Pro. Guys?
Thanks, Jason. That's the idea. Start them young. The Super Y League, dedicated to the progression of the top young players in North America. A lot of doors have been opened for players to be identified for U.S. national teams through the Super Y League ODP program. You know all about ODP, my friend.
Absolutely, and I tell you, it's great to see players come through the programs and the Super Y, and watch Alex Grendy play at University of Pennsylvania, and he had a great combine at the MLS combine where all these scouts from USL were there. And, you know, certainly he's making a name, and we hope he has a fast recovery.
Richard Jota comes in for Wilmington. As Manny Guzman departs, Richard Jota is in. Oh, and that header by Gareth Evans goes wanting.
Yeah, it was a shame. That was a time there was some very good movement off the ball inside the box, and you know, Evans just got a little better header. He could have put that back across the middle of the goal, and they had some players open.
So Zach Prince went out on that last substitution, and Brandon Massey came in. Massey, a 23-year-old veteran of the Battery. They won their title team a year ago. Jota now, who's just entered the match. Mulholland races onto that one, but it's cleared to the side. He just keeps running and working, doesn't he?
Very impressive, and I'll tell you, you know, what he does for the team doing that's great, but you know, it's certainly you don't want to play against players like that. You like players to take a break a little bit if you're defending, and no break from him at all.
Nice idea there by the Hammerheads, but it results in Dane Kelly coming back the other way. Gets bumped off the ball, and the Hammerheads have it back. Spenlove. Now they look for Cuero. Headed on for Noviello. Stripped away. Colin Falvey now. Battery with the luxury of the 2-goal lead here in the 77th minute.
Yeah, they're effectively playing a 4-5-1 now with C.D. Baugh dropping quite a bit behind Dane Kelly. And it's really going to force Wilmington, when they do win the ball, especially in the midfield, they have to force the issue a little bit without forcing the play. Try to get in and get in behind as fast as they can to create some chances. They've been awful close to getting a goal back.
Patterson clears that one, but it's held in by Wilmington. Chip forward. Becerra. Nicholson. Nicholson in the box. Shot to save. Dykstra.
I'll tell you, that's the type of fast attack that Wilmington needs to do. Have a look at this. What a nice ball in there. Nicholson with a good running off the guy's back and then having the shot. Dykstra with an excellent save. We've seen 2 of them from him. 1 in each half now to keep Wilmington off the scoreboard.
He's been terrific.
Well, he was outstanding in his career with VCU. He had about 17 appearances with the Chicago Fire as well.
Chris Spenlove now with a corner kick from the far side flag. 79th minute, Wilmington needs a goal, and they get it. No, they don't get it.
Boy, that looked like it snuck in, didn't it?
I swore it did, obviously.
I'll tell you, it couldn't have been much room there at all to put it in, but he was at the end of that. We'll see this coming in. Just watch him hanging at the back as this ball comes, and there's some ball watching in the defending, and he is right there. Actually, I'll tell you something. I think it caught him by surprise that it came through. We always try to say, you know, if you always expect it to come, then that's going to be a goal.
Mulholland ran right into that post, too. Mike Enheiser about 13 minutes away from what would be a richly deserved and, to be honest, unexpected 3 points on the road.
Well, certainly, we said in the pregame, that's been one of the things they needed to change around. They're 2-4-2 coming into this game on the road, and it's going to be a huge turning point in their season.
Still a lot of time left, over 11 minutes. We told you how Wilmington has a flair for the dramatic late. John Gruenwald has come in for C.D. Baugh now. This one's sent across. Pollock makes the stop, and it was almost put back in the rebound.
Yeah, we see this cross coming again, and this ball driven in there. Pollock putting it out, and yeah, I'll tell you what, he almost laid it off for a pretty easy goal for somebody, and kind of got to push that one further away, but he got away with that, and goal kick, and Wilmington coming back 10 minutes plus extra time to try to get 2 goals.
So John Gruenwald is in for C.D. Baugh, who had a good night's work. The first goal, and he was dangerous, and he forced Wilmington to pay attention to him on the back.
What I liked about C.D. Baugh as well, he took a couple of hard hits, and it showed it didn't affect him. Another 18-year-old getting out here, getting knocked around like that, and still able to make a very positive impact on the game.
Gareth Evans knocks this one into the box, and Noviello heads it down. I know this has been a tough week for the American soccer community with the passing of John Kerr Sr.
Yeah, John Kerr Sr. is a pioneer and icon in U.S. soccer, passed away last week at the age of 67. John was known largely for his coaching of youth and senior amateur teams to national titles, made a huge impact on the game in his role with the NASL and MLS Players Association, and he was a Canadian international and also played in North American Soccer League. We all owe a lot to John Kerr for his role in the elevation of the game in the United States. He wore the soccer with a passion on his sleeve, and would love to be seeing a game like this tonight. I'll miss him personally. A lot of us that knew him well learned so much from him in the game. To his son, John Kerr Jr., head coach at Duke University, and to all the Kerr family and friends, the heartfelt sympathy, thoughts, and prayers go out to you from the USL family. John Kerr Sr., you will be missed dearly.
Now Chris Spenlove left puts that one forward. Headed away from the top of the box by Colin Falvey, who is deputized as captain tonight with John Wilson, a longtime veteran, out, and he's done a great job. Mulholland spins. Will he have a go from there? Yes, but it's over the bar.
As a young coach, I used to go out watching different games and sit around after games with John Kerr and Gordon Murray, Bruce Murray's father, who John also coached in youth ball, and probably learned more off the field listening to John Kerr talk about what he saw, than most of the coaching schools that I ever went to. And, he did so much for this game, and it was saddened to hear about his death last week. And John Kerr Jr., a close friend, and a fitting memorial service to celebrate John Kerr Sr.'s life tomorrow in Durham, North Carolina, and certainly thoughts really are with the Kerr family.
Absolutely. Wilmington trying to get something here in the final 8 minutes and change of this one. And meanwhile, the Battery just keeps getting it done defensively. Remember, the Battery is going to be hosting Portsmouth from England on Wednesday, July 27th. So you Battery fans watching and enjoying this one will want to get out to Blackbaud Stadium and watch as Portsmouth comes to town. That's Wednesday, July 27th. Check out charlestonbattery.com for ticket information there. Not the only English side coming to take on USL Pro teams this summer. Bolton will be in Orlando on July 17th, and Newcastle will take on the Lions just 6 days later. So a great summer of some of the best teams in the world coming here to take on USL Pro sides.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're in Orlando that week, forget Disney World. Go see those games.
It's definitely an e-ticket. I don't even think they do those anymore. Showing my age, but you want to go to the game. We'll put it that way. Spenlove sends this one long. Foul whistled back the other way on Ivan Becerra, who's already in Mark Buda's book. A crowd of over 5,000 turned out tonight at Legion Stadium. And it looks now like they're going to leave disappointed unless something miraculous happens here in the last 6 minutes. Not that Wilmington can't do it.
Absolutely. You get one goal, and all of a sudden, whether it's a minute, 2 minutes left, or whatever, you're going downhill, and Charleston's going uphill just for the end of the game. And certainly, teams that score goals always believe, no matter how much time's left, that they have a chance.
And again, if Wilmington can win this game, pull it out somehow, they can tie the Battery on points for that fourth and final playoff position in the American Division. But if Charleston wins, they're actually going to move ahead of Antigua, who is losing at home tonight to Orlando 3-1 in the second half. And we'll see Levi Coleman come in for Dane Kelly.
Substitution for the Battery, checking in number 19, Levi Coleman. He spells number 9, Dane Kelly.
Levi Coleman, a 24-year-old out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and University of Missouri, Kansas City, UMKC.
Yeah, he's replacing Kelly, who's worked extremely hard. I'm impressed with Dane Kelly, both with his talent as a soccer player, but his work ethic as well. And a guy has that much speed and skill, that works so hard, is going to have quite a future in this game.
And that finish was sweet.
Absolutely, like I said, he took that like a veteran.
Dangerous ball at the back, but here's Stephen Armstrong. And to quote absent friends, that's why he's here. Exactly for that reason, to just hold the ball, kill a few seconds, veteran presence, knows what to do with it. And we're going to see David Irving go to his bench again. And the latest player in the blue and white come in, replacing Tom Parrott, is Tanner Wolf. But is it too little too late here in the 87th minute?
Well, the one thing we've seen with Mike Einheiser in this last number of minutes is the substitutions actually for both forwards, and the big reason for that is have the fresh legs to keep the pressure going on the Wilmington, who's pushing people forward.
Great performance by Charleston tonight, and Mike Einheiser knows that owner Tony Backer has spent so much to the development of soccer and the Charleston Battery. He built Blackbaud Stadium, the first privately funded soccer-specific stadium in the country. And he and team president Andrew Bell have been instrumental to the amazing success that the Battery have had since being founded in 1993. They won the league in 1996, 2003, and last year, going 11-4-5 on the 2010 season, and they look to be rounding into terrific form here, at least based on this performance. Mark Wiltsey calling, saying his shirt was tugged upon.
Yeah, as we see it, and they're both going at it.
Yeah, that's both guys giving as good as they get. Here's Richard Jota now, and Jota can place the ball very well here. Mark Buda didn't want to see the shenanigans going on in the box. Jota, low right at the keeper, bobble. And Dykstra calmly just grabs that in with a big paw, but that was nicely struck.
It was struck well. Might have even taken a slight deflection right there, just off the head, and made it difficult. Dykstra made that deflection, just changed it a little bit, almost leaving an easy knock-in for Wilmington, and they've come very close, hitting the post when it was just 1-0. The ball coming to the back post, probably really should have been tucked away. At time would have made it 2-1 with a lot of time left. But have been impressed with Charleston. This is a team that Coach Einheiser has really felt has been better than what they've done.
Cuero with the header, and that is over the end line for a goal kick.
And if you think of the last time they visited Legion Stadium, they lost 3-0. Since that time, the score holds up. They have gone 4-1-1 since that loss, so really have changed things around.
And a chance tomorrow night against Pittsburgh to give Mike Einheiser quite the weekend. Get them right back in the thick of things. Again, with Orlando leading the division, leading in the second half at Antigua. They would have a chance to Be the first USL Pro team to go over the 30-point mark and extend their lead in the division. Top 4 teams in each of the 2-16 divisions will make the postseason, and then it's single elimination, and anything can happen. Here's Jota. Sent forward to Noviello, who has gone the distance. Chased down into the corner. Sean Flatley plays that one out. We are in the 90th minute. Again, Wilmington sends it in there, and Dykstra comes outside his 6 and grabs that one.
Yeah, he grabbed that one. I wouldn't say it was with a lot of authority. There was a little hesitation. Flatley almost went off for it, and you know, again, he's yelling for his backs to get out. They really didn't get out, and then that just made that a little more crowded for Dykstra to come out onto the ball.
That one goes off Levi Coleman and out. Well, this would be miraculous now if Wilmington's able to rev things up and somehow manage 2 goals here. Got to get that first one first. Over the head of Noviello. Falls to Cuero in the box. Nice slide tackle by Charleston.
And he even wins the goal kick off of that as well.
3 minutes of added time. Andres Cuero thought he might have been able to sneak in there to get on the board.
Well, we've seen a couple times that they had the chances to get in, and the time and space is just not there all the time. And Falvo just made an excellent recovery there in that tackle. I think not only winning this game, but to win on the road, if you get a shutout, will be the confidence booster that could put Battery back into believing maybe they can win back-to-back titles.
Gareth Evans wins that 50-50 ball. A collision in the center circle, and we play on as Brandon Massey laid out Richard Jota. We are in second half stoppage time with the defending league champion Charleston Battery leading the Wilmington Hammerheads 2-0. Drew Dykstra sends this one long. Just about 2 minutes remaining. Colin Falvey wins that one in the air. And Massey cannot keep that one in. For Spendlove. Sometimes it's just not your night, and that was the case tonight for the boys in blue.
That's it, you know, both teams have really gone forward to try to score a goal.
It's an exciting match.
It really has, and you know, so close to to goals coming back from Wilmington. We see the foul in the midfield, and you know, it was just some good play. And again, the youngsters, C.D. Baugh and Dane Kelly, coming up for it, and they're the 2 forwards, and forwards are supposed to score goals, and that's what's given Charleston this victory that they're going to get in just a short time period right now.
Headed back to Dykstra. Just about a minute left in this one. Well, Charleston will improve to 7-5-3 for 24 points and move into second place in the American Division behind Orlando. Wilmington will fall to 5-4-3. With Charleston winning tonight, those 2 teams tied at 18 points apiece in 5th place in the table, and David Irving now has to regroup, and he said, I'll worry about the next game after this game. Well, that time has almost come where he will have to be concerned about what they do Tuesday night in in Sandy, Utah, just outside Salt Lake City. Final 30 seconds or so. Armstrong motivating through traffic.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for David Irvine and Wilmington to have a good showing out in Salt Lake. You know, win, lose, or draw, to make sure that this loss here doesn't become something that takes the confidence of this team down. And you know, you can have the low confidence and really get hammered and lose points for a few weeks if you're not too careful.
Just seconds remaining now. This throw-in may be the very final act of the evening. Forward, Becerra. Right into touch on the far side. We're well past our 3 minutes. Buda hasn't seen enough yet. Now Gareth Evans. Here for Spendlove. Spendlove will come forward. One last rush.
I said, a bit surprised how much extra time has gone on. There really wasn't much within that 3 minutes.
To the edge of the box. Cleared away from Mulholland. Now Martina checks his watch. This is where both coaches are just happy that it's over. Mark Buda whistles full time. And Charleston comes into Legion Stadium in Wilmington and beats the Hammerheads 2-0. C.D. Baugh and Dane Kelly with the goals. Charleston with a big win that gets them into second place in the American Division. And Wilmington will be looking for answers as they head to Salt Lake City on Tuesday in the Open Cup. For our entire crew, this is Ken Tomash thanking you so much for watching our USL Pro Game of the Week. We'll talk to you next week from Queens, New York, when it's Antigua Barracuda against FC New York. Good night from Wilmington.